Hey, good morning. You guys, we made it. This is for you. Are you guys celebrating? Because it is day 5 of our challenge. And I want you guys to give yourself a pat on the back. Because you made it. You guys made it to day 5. You are here listening, and I am so proud of you. Okay, I am so proud that you have committed to something and that you followed through and that you finished it. It is a big, big deal that you are here. And the fact that you're listening to this, whether you're here live or whether you're on the replay, the fact that you're listening to it means that you are the type of woman who finishes what she starts, who commits to something, and you get it done. And I'm so proud of you. Okay, let's see. Yes, you guys are here today. You guys are celebrating. I love it. Kelly said, I couldn't make it any other lives because of work. So glad I can join the final one. Yes, so good. Okay, so welcome. Yes, you guys, so proud of you. There are tons of women who signed up for this challenge. And then they let life get in the way and they didn't finish. And that's really sad because they're likely the same people women who are going to stay stuck, spinning their wheels, not understanding why they're not getting the results they want. But that is not you, my friend. You are a committed action taker, and you are just the kind of woman and the kind of woman who is going to reach her goals, okay? Now, I really want to reiterate today that the goal this week wasn't to do everything. Some of you did, and I'm so proud of you. If you've made it to every live or you've watched every replay or you've done every assignment, that's awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back. But that's okay if you didn't, okay? The goal this week was for you to take more action towards your goals than you would have if you skipped signing up for the challenge, okay? So if you've done that, if you have done at least one thing more that you would have not have done had you not signed up for this challenge, then this week, my friend, was a success. And today is all about wrapping up everything and putting all the pieces from the last week together, okay? If you are like most, you are probably feeling all this momentum and this motivation and all this excitement, and I want that to continue for you. The last thing I think you or I want is for you to fall back into your old habits and your old patterns and your old ways of thinking, okay? And you're not gonna let that happen. I'm not gonna let you let that happen. So, action step number 1 is to go watch the bonus video that I emailed out today. So today's training is going to be shorter because I want to make sure you have time. You use your time to go watch that bonus video that I emailed out today. It's at bicepsafterbabies.com/what's next. And in that video, I talk about the 5 steps to creating a plan that balances the 2 most important things: getting the results you want and having the lifestyle that you want. And just like I talked about yesterday, you can have both, okay? And the 5-step process that I will share with you in that video guarantees it. And I give you the secrets in that bonus video today. So your action step today is to go and make sure that you watch that video. Again, today is going to be shorter than the 40 to 55 minutes that it's been in the past because I want to give you time to go watch that video. So just to recap yesterday, we outlined yesterday why macro counting is so essential for customizing your fat loss plan to you and your body and whatever your goals are. Okay, so I'm curious, what was your biggest aha moment from yesterday? As we discussed the concept and we discussed the different identities, I know a lot of you were kind of shocked with starting to label yourself and see what kind of identity you've had when it's come to your journey. But I'm curious, what was your biggest takeaway from yesterday's conversation? And I'd love for those of you who are here live to share with me, and those of you who are in the replay, I always go back and skim the comments. So definitely just comment like you're here live and hanging out with us. Okay. Carrie says she's so excited to watch the video. I love it. Mia says I'm committed to being a macro scientist. That's so exciting. Andrea says she's going to watch the video later. Good. Awesome. Okay. Carrie said that her biggest aha was that I don't have to be perfect every time in order to lose fat. And that is such a big aha moment, Carrie. And that is, again, why I say this week, success this week isn't doing everything. It's doing at least one more thing that you would have not done otherwise. One more action that you would not have taken if you didn't choose to sign up for this challenge. I hope that you've seen this pattern that this week has been all about taking action. You had to take an action to sign up for the challenge. You had to take an action to show up on day 1. You had to take an action to show up during the week for any of the lives or for any of the assignments. You had to take that action. I cannot do that for you. And you have shown that you are able to take that action. And that's such a big, big deal. And that you didn't have to do everything to be successful. Awesome. Janine learned that she is a macro dieter. Awesome. And again, there's nothing bad with being a macro dieter. It just starts to bring awareness. And when we start to bring awareness, we can recognize, hey, there's somewhere for me to go. There's things for me to learn to be able to get to that next level that's going to help get me the results that I want. Tamara said her aha is it's not weight loss, it's fat loss. That's awesome. Kate liked the identities graph. Cool. I'm glad that hit home with you guys. Mary also found that she was a macro dieter. That's really common. And it's not your fault because honestly, that's how a lot of people teach macro counting. And if I'm being really honest, it's one of the things that drives me crazy about listening to other people talk about it and how other coaches coach, because for most women, it's not an effective way to look at it of like, you have to hit your macros or just cause, like it just reinforces the same pattern that the problem with all the other diets. And when you start to move past that and you start to move past that dieter mentality and into the macro scientist, it is such an empowering way to look at your journey. And I'm excited for you guys that you're starting to realize that. Okay, Kelly said, I found out I was getting obsessed with macro counter dieter instead of macro scientist. Doreen said, food is not good or bad. That's so exciting. Yeah, a lot of you guys realize that you maybe are falling into that identity of a macro dieter. Chelsea said it's not all or nothing. Lindsay said that macro counting can turn into a diet. Awesome. 2 things. Jody said macros is like a budget. And then I didn't have the other one. It's down here lower. Kim said that calories are at the base. Awesome. Kate, weight loss doesn't equal fat loss. Jessica said, I'm usually all or nothing, so I love that I can still incorporate the foods I love without feeling guilty. And I love this, that you're starting to recognize this, Jessica, and I really am going to, you didn't quite say it in this, but I've heard it during this week, where people say, I am an all or nothing thinker. I am lazy. I am overwhelmed, right? And when we start to use those words, I want you to recognize how powerful those are. It's one of the reasons at the very beginning of the week that I had you say, I am a committed action taker and I'm committed to remaining responsible in my journey. We use those words, I am, because they're powerful. When you say, I am an all or nothing thinker or I am lazy, I want you to recognize that it's not actually true. Sometimes maybe you have lazy tendencies. Sometimes maybe you make lazy choices. Sometimes maybe you have all or nothing tendencies. You tend to default to that. That does not mean that you are that, okay? You are Chelsea, you are Jessica, you are Rachel, like you are who you are. And when we can create that separation, that you are not lazy, you sometimes make lazy choices, that empowers you to create a new reality in the future. I am is a fixed state, okay? I have tendencies is a state that can be changed. A lot of you guys have probably read Carol Dweck's book about fixed mindset and growth mindset. Fixed mindset is like, this is the way it is. It cannot change. And when we say I am, that's what we're saying. When we move that from I am to I have tendencies, that's a growth mindset where we are empowered to then change it. Okay. Awesome. So you guys had some big aha moments yesterday, and that's super exciting. We talked about yesterday how the weight loss myths that you've probably grown up seeing. Like, if we're being honest, you've probably heard a lot of those myths and kind of internalized them. And again, it's not your fault because that's what you've been taught, okay? And getting that clarity on actually what causes weight loss is so, so valuable and important. And yesterday I introduced macro counting, the fact that our body sees calories and macronutrients, and it doesn't see healthy or unhealthy. Like, there's nothing in our body that is like a little flag that when you eat a donut, it's like unhealthy, okay? Donuts have carbs, fat, and protein, and not very much protein, carbs and fat, and they're not healthy or unhealthy. They just are. They just have certain amounts of carbs and fat, and you need a certain amount to be fueled optimally. As well as, if you want to create that weight loss, you also need to make sure you have that caloric deficit, okay? So we talked about finding that sweet spot that exists for every single one of you. You, my friend, you have a sweet spot. And just because you haven't found it in the past does not mean you cannot find it in the future. And when you find that sweet spot, weight loss or transformation becomes easy and, dare I say, even fun. Okay, and that's what I want for you. And so I talk about these 5 simple steps, this proven process on finding your sweet spot like a game. And that this 5-step process that I talk about with you in the bonus video today is how we can start to look at this as a game and the steps and the things, the pieces that we need for the game to make sure that we're going to be able to win the game. Okay. Some of you guys are playing your game with missing pieces, and it's when you get those missing pieces that things are going to come together and it's going to feel a lot easier and a lot more fun. Okay. So I promised you at the beginning of the week that we would get you to the point where we are today, where you're going to be able to create a customized plan, where you're going to be able to find that sweet spot that makes weight loss become light and easy. Okay. Now, just as a quick recap, we started at the place where most people don't start. So on day one, we got clear on the results that you've created and stepping into a place of ownership, because hopefully this is a theme you've picked up. When you own it, when you acknowledge it, when you recognize it, you can change it. And that's a powerful place to be. Day two, we got clear on your end goal and clear on the mile markers. A lot of you said the miracle scale was something that blew your mind and really helped you in your journey. On day three, we talked about self-sabotage and how to break out of it, how to get out of overwhelm, how to get out of this fear that because we haven't been successful in the past, that we won't be successful in the future. On day four, we talked about nutrition and what actually causes weight loss, not all the myths that we sometimes believe, and how you can start to apply that to your journey. And as you're sitting here reflecting on the week, I want you to think about what has allowed you to be here today. Okay. What has made this week different for you? And I want you guys who's here, I want you guys to talk about or to share what has made this week different for you. I'm sure in the past you've started things and by the Friday you were continuing to do them, right? I have done that. You have likely done that. We've all done that, okay? So I want you to start reflecting on what made this week different, because when we can start to identify, hey, this made a difference for me. This allowed me to be here on day 5. We start to bring awareness to that. We can take that lesson and we can use it moving forward. So this is a really powerful reflection that I want to make sure that you do today. What made this week different for you? How caused you to be able to be here on day 5? Okay. Diane said hope. That's so good. Awesome. Christy said hope for something better. Hope is a powerful emotion. And I think so often in our journeys, we get beaten down and we get that hope stripped from us and we start to believe that it's not possible. And I don't have to tell you that if you believe it's not possible, you won't take the action that it takes to make it possible. So hope is a really powerful, emotion. Jocelyn said commitment, new knowledge. Good. Awesome. Angie said the knowledge you shared is priceless. I really appreciate that, Angie. Jamie said a daily check-in to remind me to do the things I'm committed to. Awesome. And so what I would love you to think about, Jamie, is how can you implement that moving forward? How can you use that knowledge that's really powerful for you moving forward? What does that look like for you? Melissa said this week has been different because I'm committed to it and I believe it's possible for once. That's like music to my heart. I love it. Judy said mindset change to be committed to a change. That's so good. Heather says, I trust your approach. Well, I'm honored, Heather, that you trust my approach. Jesse said community. I love that you recognize that. There's a lot of research that shows that we are the compilation of the people that we spend a lot of time around, and community can be so important. I talked a little bit about Atomic Habits. I love that book by James Clear. And one of the things that he says is that if you want to create a certain result, joining a community where the desired behavior is the accepted behavior makes all the difference. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. If you want to create a result, joining a community that where the desired behavior is the usual behavior, the behavior that everyone's doing, that is something that is so incredibly powerful. Megan, promise to follow through and really make this work. Actually, awesome. Cassie said, I'm learning valuable information that I've been missing for years. Marcia said small measurable goals. Again, how can you take that moving forward? Amber said the aha moments that I was having. Awesome. That's so good. Yeah, you guys have built a lot of momentum this week. And I want to stop and pause because I want to recognize that this week has been a little bit like a sprint. Has anybody else felt that way? I felt that way, where it's been like, I know the lives have been long. I know like I've been requiring you to do things. I'm having you listen to podcasts. Like this week has been a lot. I've been giving a lot to you because I want to give you a ton of value and a ton of wins during this week. But I want you to start to recognize that as you move forward, as you go into the next week and the following week and the following week, like it's likely not realistic that you're going to be able to keep up this pace with how much time you're spending on that. Okay. And so we have to start to figure out, yes, this week was a sprint and you can do a sprint for a while, but how are we going to start to transition to the marathon that is going to be your journey? And what is that marathon going to look like moving forward? Okay. So the question starts to become, you guys have probably spent, those of you who are on the lives, have spent at least a couple of hours with me between podcasts and actions and coming and listening to the lives. But now we have the question of like, how much time is this going to take moving forward? Because for most of you, spending several hours a day on this is not realistic for you, okay? And there's a lot to learn. A lot of you have started asking about, how do I figure out what macros are right for me? How do I create a meal plan? How do I not go over my carbs? How do I deal with weekends? How do I eat out? How do I track protein? How do I get alcohol? How do I allow myself to eat alcohol? How do I log a recipe, right? There's still so many more things for you to learn, but what I've given you this week is the foundation that is going to make those next things a lot easier. Because when you step into a place of commitment, you step into a place of understanding your goals, you step into a place of ownership, you step into a place of judgment and not step out of the place of judgment and into just acknowledgement, you're able to go through that process. Okay. And some of you may be thinking, this feels really overwhelming, Amber. You've given me so much to think about. How do I start applying all this? And you want to apply all the things. And I want to bring you back to what I said about overwhelm in day 3. Okay. And, yeah, you may be seeing that like this still may be feeling overwhelming. Macros may still feel confusing. Customizing your eating plan may still feel confusing. I understand that. It's okay. It's okay for it to feel confusing. But what we're going to talk about today is how we're going to move forward and the time that you're going to allot to this process. Okay. Now, I know some people have been starting to talk about Macros 101 and have questions about it and how much is it and what does it involve and all of the things. And I want you to know that we're not talking about that today. And there's a really important reason for that. And it is because I committed to you to show up and serve you for 5 days. That was my commitment. And I always keep my commitments. And so my focus today is on continuing to serve you. Okay, we'll talk about Macros 101 next week. I know some of you guys are so excited to get in it, but the program's not open right now. And what I want you to do is bring your attention and your focus back to today and what I'm teaching you today, because we still have good things that we need to go through that are going to help you to be successful. Okay. So I'm sure that you understand that I'm going to keep my commitment, and I committed to showing up to serve you for 5 days. And this is still part of the challenge. Okay. So, one of the things, and as we're moving forward, we're going to start talking about, okay, how do I spend my time, your valuable time? How do you spend your valuable time on the right things, the things that are actually going to move the needle, instead of all the things? Because what a lot of people do is they just kind of think that they can just randomly like throw things against the wall and see what sticks, right? And they just kind of try all the things and they don't really know what's working or what's not working. And so how can we start to focus on the right things instead of all the things? Now, we all have the same amount of time in a day. True or false? True. Okay. We all have the same amount of time. And how we choose to allot that time is our choice and how we prioritize our life. And I want to give you that empowering feeling that like you get to choose how you spend your time. And when we default to having the excuse of like, I don't have the time, I want you to recognize what you're really saying is it's not important. Okay. Now, that's not a judging statement. Okay. We don't have to have guilt and shame around that. So we can recognize if you say I don't have the time, what you're really saying is it's not important. And now the next question is the one that's important to ask. Okay. Ask yourself, do I want this to be important to me? Because if the answer is no, then don't spend time on it. If it's not important to you, don't spend time on it. But if the answer is yes, this is important, then we can start to ask ourselves a good question about how can I make the time? Okay. Now I want you to think back to the miracle morning exercise we did on day 2 and the miracle scale. And we talked about the results that you want, the transformation that you want. And we talked a little bit about what that would mean for your life. Now, if you did all the things during the challenge and you were so excited and you're so motivated, but you don't do anything moving forward, where are you going to be in 12 months? Where are you going to be in 12 months if you don't actually continue this momentum and continue to create change and transformation? Some of you may be saying, I'll be in the same place. But the truth is that you'll actually be worse off. Because if you're not growing and moving towards your goals right now, how are you expecting to maintain the situation that you're at? Okay, so 12 more months, that means 12 more months of hating your body, 12 more months of being a poor example to your kids, 12 more months of unhealthy habits. And what will that mean? And when you start to look at it like that, it makes it pretty darn important, doesn't it? You who are listening, you, my friend, you are important and you are worth making the time for. So if those results and the transformation you want are important to you, and hopefully we established that they are, then the question is, do you commit to making the time to hit your goals? Okay, and I want to hear, are you committed? Like those of you who are live, those of you who are listening to the replay, are you committed to making the time to be able to hit your goals? Yeah. Yes, you guys are. Awesome. Lindsay said, and then 12 months come and you think, dang, if I would have just stuck with it, I could have changed. Yes. I think we've all had that experience, okay? Lisa says uphill means you're going in the right direction. Lindsay says she's worth it. Melanie says this week has been life-changing. I'm so excited for that. So yes, you guys are committed. Yeah, big capital letters, I am committed, okay? You're committed to making the time. Cool. So I'm going to help you today in creating the discipline that you need to make time in your schedule, because making time in your schedule doesn't just happen. It is a discipline. Okay, so the first question, quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask, is if you knew that creating your customized plan and learning how to wield the tool of macro counting would work, if you knew this process that I was going to take you through worked, how much time would you be willing to dedicate per day? There isn't a right answer. There's no right answer. Everybody's going to have a different number. But I want you to think about it. How much time per day would you be willing to commit to dedicating to the process if you knew that it was going to create the transformation that you wanted, create that transformation that we talked about back in day 2? Okay. Kathleen, awesome. Let's see. Kathleen said 2 hours. Awesome. Clarissa said 20 minutes. Awesome. Emily said 1 hour. Sweet. Melissa said 2 hours. Again, there's no right or wrong. I'm not looking for a certain amount. I want you to get clear on how much time you're willing to spend, because this is going to be unique to you. Mia said 30 minutes to an hour. Lynn said 30 minutes. Alicia said an hour. Erin said 30 minutes, 1 to 2 hours. Debbie said as much time as it takes. Lindsay said at least an hour. Cool. Again, no right answer. All this is you getting clear on what you are willing to dedicate to the process. Okay. So there's not a right answer. It's just the answer that's going to fit you, your life, and your goals. Okay. So here's my promise to you. If you are working on the right things and the right action steps and not just throwing things against walls, you can get results by committing to 20 minutes a day. Okay. And I think everybody has said more than 20 minutes. Okay. So 20 minutes a day is all that it takes, a consistent 20 minutes a day. Okay. And if you're willing to commit to 20 minutes a day, you can get the results that you want. So what are you going to do with that time, right? If I say, yes, Amber, I'm committed to spending this 20 minutes, what the heck am I going to do at this time? I talked a little bit about Macros 101, and inside the program, I do have a guide called Macros in 20 minutes a day. Okay. And so I'll show you how to do that inside of the program. And we'll talk more about that next week. But before we can talk about what you're going to do during those 20 minutes, we have to find it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do together today, is we're going to find those 20 minutes. We're going to help you carve out those 20 minutes, because if you can find the 20 minutes, that's your job. I can teach you the rest. Okay, so here's the next question. If I promise to pay you $1,000, okay, I'm going to give you $1,000. All you have to do in exchange is to find 20 minutes in your day. How would you do it? Again, no right answer. This is unique to you. How are you going to do it? Are you going to get up earlier? Are you going to skip scrolling on social media? Are you going to set an alarm? Are you going to schedule it into your planner? Are you going to, when are you going to do it? If I said, I'm going to give you $1,000, all you have to do, just find 20 minutes in your day. I'm curious, how would you find those 20 minutes? Okay. Awesome. Mia said she can carve out 20 minutes a day each morning to focus on that. Yes. Okay. So Mia's going to do it in the morning. Awesome. Lynn said all of that. Kathleen said she could get up before her family at 5:15. Kathy said she could get up earlier. Cassie said she could skip scrolling. Awesome. Janine said, I will get up before my kids wake up for school. Melissa said I could do it right after working out. Lindsay said the morning before I get out of bed instead of scrolling on social media. I feel you, girl. Heather said lunchtime. Jill said skipping like her TV time. Stacy said I totally waste at least 30, 20 minutes a day on my phone. Yeah, I think we can all feel you on that one. Clarissa said definitely doable if I skip TV in the evening. Natalie's going to wake up earlier. Christy said I'm not going to turn on my TV first thing. Okay, sweet. So you guys have just gotten really clear on how you're going to be able to find 20 minutes in your day to take consistent daily action towards your goals. And by committing to something for 20 minutes every single day, what you are saying is that it's important. You're saying that you're important. You're saying that your goals are important. You're saying that the transformation that you want is important. And it's okay if it isn't. We don't have to guilt you or shame you. But again, we ask ourselves the question, is this important? And if it's important, how am I going to make it happen? So what I really want you to start to commit to moving forward, again, we're going from a sprint to a marathon, is daily 20-minute power sessions. And you've now just figured out where you're going to fit it into your schedule. And what I want you to do is take whatever you just wrote down there and put it into action. Okay? Maybe that means setting your alarm earlier. Maybe that means putting a reminder on your phone. Maybe that means like not letting yourself log into social media until you've done your 20-minute power session. So I want you to start to think of how am I going to be doing these how am I going to make sure that I'm committed to, I build the habit of doing a 20-minute power session that's going to move me forward to my goals. Now, I have very specific actions in the video that is linked for today's assignment. So that's bitesafterbabies.com/what's next. And that's going to start to give you an idea of like, what are some things that you can do during this power session, during these 20 minutes that you've just carved out in your day. What are we going to do to be able to be successful and continue from the sprint that you've just now finished to the marathon that is going to be the next, several months, years on your journey. We can't continue spending 3 hours a day or whatever you've been spending. We're going to make it manageable. And if you can commit 20 minutes, then you can be successful and you can see the results that you want. And you've just found the 20 minutes. So I'm so, so proud of you. So that is everything for today. Again, I'm keeping this really short because I want you to go watch that video. It's going to give you a lot of insight into the steps that are going to make this really simple to be able to hit your goals. You guys have made it. You've made it to the end of the 5-day challenge. It's been an honor serving you. It's been an honor teaching you. It's been an honor coaching you and guiding you. I don't take it lightly that you guys are here. I don't take it lightly that you guys have made sacrifices and that you have shown up for yourself. And that's so, so important. Okay, I cannot forget. Okay, so a couple things. A little bit of like housekeeping. So apparently we had a mistake. Happens. It's okay. We don't have to judge it. It just happens. We made a mistake, and today's action guide word for the action guide, so in your email, it was inevitable. But we made a mistake yesterday, and the action guide yesterday, no, wait, sorry. Carly is texting me. Okay. Update. Today's action guide is the only one that's off. So it's creates. So today for your action guide secret word, it should be creates. It says inevitable, but it should be creates. Okay. So creates. And then today for the live is clarity. Okay. So that's your final word. So at this point, you guys should have been able to get blackout if you completed everything, and we will have more instructions on how to submit your bingo cards. I know you guys are so excited about that. I love that you're so excited about that. So the action words for today, I'm giving you both of them because we made a mistake, is creates, clarity. Those are the last two words that you're going to need to fill out your bingo sheet. Okay. Last thing, the prize for today for showing up live. So the winner of the prize today, we're going to give some resistance booty bands. And the winner is Elizabeth Tanner. So Elizabeth Tanner, if you'll just DM me, we'll make sure to get your prize out to you. Thank you for being here live. Thank you for showing up. Carly's my right-hand girl. You guys will learn to love Carly. She helps me keep everything straight. She said that she has updated it on the all access page. Okay, so moving forward, that should be updated, but some of you got the wrong word in the email today, and I apologize for that. So just know today's two words, creates clarity. And that wraps up our 5-day challenge. I'm so proud of you. I hope that you are celebrating. I hope that you have enjoyed this week. I've set this week up to help you to be successful. And I hope that you've had perspective changes. I hope that you have had aha moments. I hope that you are feeling motivated and committed because, my friend, everything that you need is inside of you. And I think that's one of the things that sets the way that I coach apart from the way that other coaches coach. A lot of times people sign up for coaches because they think that they have all the answers. The coaches have all the answers. And what I want you to understand, the way that I coach and the way that I approach it, is that you have all the answers inside of you. And that my job as a coach isn't to give you the answers that I think are right. It is to help you to access those own answers. Because you, my friend, have everything inside of you that you need to be successful. The problem is sometimes accessing it, or sometimes asking yourself the right questions so that you can be able to figure it out. And that's my job as a coach. I'm not a guru. Okay, I'm not a guru. I don't know everything. That's not my job. I'm not Google. My job is to facilitate your transformation by helping you to tap into the things that are already inside of you. And that is an empowering way to go through life. And so hopefully you've gotten a taste of that this week. Hopefully you've seen that difference in how I coach and how I teach and how I empower you, because you have what it takes. And I hope that, and a lot of you said that you're starting to feel hope. That's my goal, because every single one of you, if you can hear my voice right now, you have what it takes. And I love to help you learn to tap into that. And I love to help you figure out how to unearth that, because it's inside of you. Sometimes we just don't know how to access it. Okay. So Heather says, happy, feel, go cry. Yes, I'm so glad. I don't even want to wrap this up, but I am going to wrap this up because I respect your time and I honor you and I honor your commitment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being an important part of this community, and I will catch you around. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to finish out this challenge strong, and we still have lots of prizes and fun things in store for you guys. We'll talk to you later.